You wanna be at the top? Inshallah. Are we the cream of the crop? Inshallah. You gotta rock till you drop. Inshallah. Cause believers never stop. Yeah. MashaAllah. Come on.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdul-Malik Ahmed from Native Deen on Deen TV. I'm here with brother Amir. Alhamdulillah, I've been trying to get to this museum, this beautiful place here, and I just wanted you to tell me a little bit about how you established this and your thought process behind making this wonderful place here.
Okay, it started back in 1996. I used to work for a Muslim organization, and realized that they did not understand that we had a history here. We were part of American fabric. So I started researching my own family history. And in researching my father's history, I found that he was coming from Georgia, where the area where the Muslims come from, the Gullah people. It was out of Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, on those coastal areas. They built some of the first houses out of sand, seashells, and limestones. One of the earliest leaders of that community was Abdul-Malik Muhammad. So I found my ancestor that came from Africa. Her name was Clara Higginbottom, her name was Claire, who married a white indentured servant and became known as Clara Higginbottom. She said she come from Africa. And then one of her children that lived with her was named Amir Bakir. So I said, whoa, that's Islam. So then I started researching and found out these Gullah people had Islamic history. They come from Islam. Yeah. In the War of 1812, Bilal told the slave master, I got 80 men to help defend this island, can't count on the Christians that you own. So he identified at least 80 of them being Muslim. In 1829, he left this book, instructing them how to pray, how to fast, how to call the Adhan, how to call the Iqamah, and when the best time to do dhikr. So then I just started investigating further and further, and then even researching my mother's side of the family, found out they was born free. My earliest ancestor was born free in 1790, and then looking at the court records, when he went to court, to identify himself and describe himself, the next person that came into court with him, or behind him, his name was Thomas Hawk, H-A-Q-Q. That means true. And so, So I started researching more and more. As the Quran says, travel throughout the earth and see what was before you. As I said earlier, Muslims that came through the Spanish Inquisition, this is the first known Muslim in the United States. His name was Estebanico. He came with the Spaniards, and he's credited with discovering Arizona and New Mexico. Another group of Muslims that came with the Spaniards, they was called Moriscos when they was in Spain. When they came here, they became known as Melungeons. So we would travel throughout, travel through towns like Muhammad, Illinois, Mecca, Indiana, Morocco, Illinois. We just traveled where we heard reports that Muslims were. We went to places, Natchez, Mississippi, where Abdul-Rahman reported being there. Fayetteville, North Carolina, where Omar ibn Said was reported being there. And we explored the cemeteries, historical sites, libraries, just researching. Allah says travel throughout the earth and we'll see what was before you. So these are some of the basic principles that we did. And then as we was traveling, information started coming. His father's name was Omar, his mother's name was Benta. This is the actual painting or photograph of Kunta Kinte. This hangs up in Al-Azhari Museum in Tennessee, as well as on his tombstone. This is the plaque honoring the rival Kunta Kinte. And then the book is also talking about the blessings of Allah and him fasting in Ramadan. We're going to step into the 1800 room. In the 1800s, you'll start finding Muslim personalities arriving. You'll find that Muslims came here as scholars, leaders, and as entrepreneurs. One of the earliest known Muslims in the United States, or in the D.C. area, is Jarl Mahmoud. This painting hangs up in Georgetown Public Library. It's getting ready to go into the National Art Gallery for up to 2010. Started gathering, started collecting. We was a museum without walls for at least 15 years.
15 years.
Before we have gotten this space. We've been in this space now going on 5.5 years. So through Allah says, surely man is what he strives for, through patience, perseverance, and consistency. So these are some of the simple, basic principles that we try to do to hold. Be able to tell our story, because if we don't tell our story, somebody else will, and it won't be the story that's really the truth.
And the stories are amazing here. I mean, some of the history I didn't even know. And I was born here. And I think it's key for every Muslim to come here and learn a little bit. Every American Muslim, you got to come here and visit this place and really learn about, all of the amazing history that's going on here. So did you gather all of these pictures and stuff, or how did that come about?
Alhamdulillah. People donate them. For about 6 years in a row, we went to Mosqueers convention. They have had us at conventions and even at ISNAS conventions. Right. And we had small exhibits, and people would bring information or bring stories. Like we was at one ISNA convention, and one brother came by and said, "Oh, I've been in this town called Mecca, Indiana." People, we found tombstones in Arabic. So I said, "Wow, ya Allah." And a few years later, we wound up going to Mecca, Indiana. What I find unique between this Bilal and this Bilal, we know the story about Bilal ibn Rabah during Prophet Muhammad Islam. When he was converted to Islam, he was tortured. Rock put on his chest, all he could say was ahad, ahad, ahad. Then he couldn't say that no more. He put up the one finger for the oneness of God. Well, in America, the Muslims that was brought here, they was tortured, suppressed, and oppressed. That we found between this Bilal and that Bilal, this tombstone with the Tawheed on it. These tombs, and his name was Sambo Swift. These tombstones we found from Florida up to Canada, as far out in Kansas. Not only African American Muslims was doing these tombstones, but we found also Eastern European Muslims doing it. When we get to the town Muhammad, Illinois, Mecca, Indiana, we'll talk about that. People at the Imam Muhammad community donated photographs, donated pictures. Matter of fact, we have collections now. We have a collection of one of the earliest Muslims that was a doctor or professor, PhD, Lani Shabazz, his collection. We have Hadari, who owned Pyramid Bookstores. We have his collection, some of his collections. We have, now the sister brought in a lot of books from her collections. So people throughout, like there was one of the rooms we showed, we're talking about the Polish Tartars, the early Muslim community. She's a collector. She donated that photograph. So there's a lot of things Muslims have contributed to help make this about. Here you have, these are Muslims from Albania. We found tombstones up in Maine. He died in 1906. So they was early on. You got Turkish men, you got Albanian men.
Yeah. So how many rooms in here?
There's 7 rooms of history.
Rooms.
Yes.
7 rooms of history. And some of the stuff you wouldn't even, I don't even know how you found it. It's like you have like original Quran.
This is a Quran that many people don't know. In the early 30s, that Elijah Muhammad gave his early ministers Quran to help them to understand. Then in the 40s and 50s, they came more focused on economics and social issues. They laid down the religion as they was taught at that time. People donate. They have it. We need space, and this is not we are the first, but there's more to come. We need museums everywhere around. It provides a third space. They allow Muslims and non-Muslims to come in and to learn about Islam, to learn about Muslims. We use arts, culture, and history to connect people. To bring us together as a people, as a human family. Hassan Rahman, basketball. And today there's hundreds of Muslims throughout. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in basketball, Elijah One are some of the most popular ones. Then you have Muslims of today, Turkish Muslims that are playing in American sports. You have a sister that's a fencer, one Muslim that was a baseball player, Muslim wrestlers. And it's important to help fight and combat some of this bigotry, like you saw in the politics. We're something foreign, don't be part of it. But there's a town called Muhammad, Texas, that was established in 1857 to 1916. Muslim from Lebanon. This is a famous Muslim that was also part of the camel herders. His name was Hajj Ali. They nicknamed him Hajj Ali. They put up a pyramid on him and put a camel on top. At the turn of the century, 1893, you had one of the earliest white Muslim, European American, Alexander Russell Webb, who was a journalist and a diplomat. Converted to Islam in 1893, the World Conference of Religion. He spoke about Islam. You had Muhammad Adusi Ali, who was also a playwright, an actor, a Renaissance man. This is a photograph of one of the earliest Muslim organization called American Muhammadan Society. These are Polish Tartars out of the New York area. And then they talk about we're not cowboys. No, we wasn't. We was camel boys. They brought camels out west. And then they left a town called Muhammad, Texas. Allah is the most wise. So our story is there. Matter of fact, another thing about Texas. The first Muslim mayor was in Texas. Here you have the first Muslim chaplain of the army, Chaplain Muhammad, the first chaplain of the Navy, Chaplain Noel, the first immigrant chaplain. You have Muslim cadets. You have Muslim women today in this service. This is one of the dinner jackets that they give the Islamic chaplains, where they put the crescent on, as well as in the uniform. This is Muhammad's uniform with the crescent. This is the uniform of Aisha, Lieutenant Commander. So Muslims that took on many important leadership roles. So don't buy that concept, that hogwash that we're not a part of American fabric. We are. In World War, for instance, the Revolutionary War, War of 1812, Civil War, World War I, World War II, we fought in all the wars. We helped build American economy.
Yeah.
The cotton, tobacco, indigo. These are things Muslims done.
Yeah.
You know, that they didn't just bring them haphazardly here, they brought them here to help develop this country.
Yeah.
So yes, we've been here.
Wow.
And this here is a prayer book that they issue to the Muslim soldiers today.
People need to come here, and you have a lot of people coming through. I mean, different from all.
We have people from all walks of life. We have the State Department uses a lot on international guests. We just had a group of people to come from Fulbright that they're going to start bringing different Fulbright students in so they can come learn, tell the story. This is an untold story. This is like a paradigm shift change for many people because this is a story that has not been told, but it's written and it's documented. Muslims have been part of the American fabric.
That is the key takeaway that I got here. That it's not one or two little dots here and there, man. There's so much, and you guys have to come here. And how do you get your funding? I mean, obviously this is an amazing place. How do you keep the lights on?
Through the grace of Allah. Wallahi, and we need the Muslim support.
Yes.
We really do. And alhamdulillah, Muslims have supported. This building is owned by a Muslim.
Okay.
This building is owned by Master Muhammad, who owned it since 1973. So they supplement the cost. We don't pay the going prime rate. We couldn't afford it. We're working just to pay the rate that we've worked. God. But through trial and error, patience and perseverance, Allah says, surely man gets what he strives for.
Okay.
So through patience and perseverance, it'll come. Some months we'll be behind. Then it will come through time. So we need the Muslim support. We need to stabilize. We need to grow this to become an institution downtown. This is once we need really, our vision is to get a 12,000 square foot space that offer community space, movie space, social space.
Wow. So you guys heard it. And if they want to contact, so let's say somebody comes from a different part of the country and they want to know how to get here, how they can contact you.
You can go online. AIHMmuseum.org is our website. AIHmuseum.org.
Put it right here.
Our phone number is 202-610-0586. And they could donate online. Matter of fact, we've gotten Qurans from Japan, from Muslims come from Japan. Muslims come from China. Muslims that come from around the world to come visit this.
Right.
It's the Muslims that are local that we need to come and support.
That's right. I mean, I gotta say, I'm local to this area, and this is my first time here, and I'm blown away. I'm really blown away. All you Muslims, brothers and sisters out there, you gotta come here to visit this place. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Thank you, Brother Amir, for showing me around and letting the community know, all our Deen TV audience know about this amazing place.
Thank you for the opportunity to share that.
Okay.
We'd love for y'all to come back.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslim world.
Thank you.
The guests of Deen TV.
I mean. This Deen TV video was made possible in part by Islamic Relief, working together for a better world, and by Guidance Residential, the #1 Islamic home financer in the U.S.